Rambling Hour with Lisa. I am live from the front garden in the pool. I have not used this chair before, so it's a little bit wobbly, and we'll see if I tip out of it. At least it's recording, so everybody can watch me fall over if that does happen. How is everyone today? How has your week been? What's new with you? Are you on holiday because it's still summertime? It is a heat wave here, so I'm glad to have this pool. I don't get to go in it as much as I want because when I'm watching Nova, I watch Nova in the back garden, and this is in the front garden, and I'm gonna fall over because I put my feet up. So this is gonna be fun, just watching me try to keep my balance. Let's try not to wet everything. So yeah, I thought I would change it up. I thought this chair would be a little more not off balance, so maybe a lawn chair might have been a better option. I don't know, but it's nice to be in the pool anyways and just relax. I don't think if I got the lying down type, it wouldn't be really good for my live. I'd probably fall asleep and have a nap while you guys were waiting for me to ramble. So yeah, you know what, you don't need a big pool to cool off. When I was working on the small pond in the back where I put the fish, the other day I was just standing in it, and just having something to wade in, just having your feet in water is enough to cool off your body. So you don't need, and even this is just a small size pool compared to like in-ground pools and stuff like that, but I wouldn't want to get rid of this. If I did get rid of this, I'd want to have something else in its place. So yeah, I hope everyone's well. It is, summer's like it's already August 14th. Like August is half over, and it gets dark so soon. So like I do have my ring light on. It's but it's still getting, you know, it's dusky, I should say, like dusk. So the ring light will be better on my face when the darker it is outside. But right now you'll just have to deal with the daylight the way it is. So it might be brighter to you guys. Maybe it's not as much for me on mine, but it looks all right. And as long as you guys can hear me, then everything's good. This is not the live that I'm going to practice. I mean, try out my microphones, because I'm not going to do electricity with water. Even this is pushing it. And yes, and I have a book to show you too, but I don't want to get that book wet either. So what else has happened this week? Our kitchen got finished with the countertops and the faucets. Sorry, here in the UK they call faucets. Well, faucet is a French word, but for us in North America, the faucet is the part that the water comes out, the spout, and the things that you turn on and off are the taps. So when I say faucet, that's the spout, but here they call it all taps. So yeah, our kitchen got done that way. We just need our splashback now, and Fred the builder was working on the trim in the entranceway and landing, and finishing some of the doors, the trim around the doors. There's another word for that here too, but I can't think of what it is. What else happened this week? It's just been really hot, and I've been trying to keep everything in the garden alive. And then I had a book that I received on Tuesday, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, and well, I might as well talk about it now. But I read a whole book within a couple days because, well, it was a really good book, and I was very excited about it. So let me show it to you before I get it wet or dirty. It is called Silently Said, and this book is by Diana Lee. I'll show you the back. So it says, let me get my glasses. Nestled in a quiet, well, it's from the series Silent, and I'll tell you about that in a minute, the fact that it's a series. Nestled in a quiet and quaint small town, just down a dusty gravel road, lived a family plagued with a mystery they can't solve. Diana, born in March of 1978, the youngest of 4 children, all born within 6 years, is caught in the crossfires of distress. Battling her own illness and the ones haunting the family, Diana and her siblings must make their way in this world as their mother's help fails and their father's alcoholism strangles the family system. Roles shift, no longer dependent on age or ability, but who can do the job. They say lightning doesn't strike twice in the same spot, but as luck would have it, for the Kirk family, it does. With flight or fight ignited, Diana operates in full survival mode. A writer at heart, Diana harnesses the healing powers of writing. This is her healing journey. Sorry if I was doing that like kind of monotone. I was thinking about, while I was trying to read, I was listening to the crows, and then I was thinking about the fact that why are the crows here again every Sunday? The crows seem to be, maybe they're out on other days and I just don't care because I'm not doing my live, but the crows are annoying me, so they were distracting me from reading. But let me tell you about Diana Lee. Diana Lee is the youngest daughter of Les and Margaret Kirk of Plenty, Saskatchewan. Diana now resides in Cudworth, a small town in Saskatchewan, Canada, with her twin daughters Joelle and Julia, and husband Brent. Diana graduated from the University of Regina and has a challenging and rewarding career in local government. Diana enjoys reading, writing, inspirational speaking, gardening, and spending time with her family and friends, both human and four-legged. Diana belongs with nature, and you will find her outdoors often, tending to her veggies and flowers. Diana's soul is a traveling one, not idle for long before seeking out another adventure. She is a lifelong learner and loves engaging in conversations on the mysteries of life and our world. So, when I was pregnant with, when I had Allison, having a newborn at home, having little kids at home, there's lots of downtime. Like, you have to be there to make sure that they're okay. But even if they're playing by themselves or having tummy time or doing those things, I'm floating away. Then you have time to do whatever, read a book maybe sometimes, or just something that doesn't take too much focus away from the baby, so you're still engaged in case the baby needs you. But anyway, so I decided to use my time on a computer because at that time, it was the first time ever having a computer in the home. So I made a blog called, it was like on a platform called MSN Spaces, if anybody remembers that. It was Messenger, like MSN Messenger Spaces. And it was more of a blog type thing than like Facebook is now. So you would just write your like daily diary or journal or like short stories or whatever. And I became friends with a few people on there. Lisa Young from Ontario is one of them. That's who I stayed with when I would go to Ontario for the retreats for Jackie and Steve. And another one is Diana. So Diana Kuning she lives in Saskatchewan, and like I said, Lisa lives in Ontario, and then I was living in Alberta, and we became friends online because of the blogs. So we used to read each other's blogs. So I always knew that Diana was a good writer because I would read her blogs, and I knew she had a story, because I knew some of her story just from everything she was going through in life there. But so I knew it was an interesting story with her mom having an illness that there was no name for, and then the fact that her dad was an alcoholic, and it was just very hard childhood to say the least. However, even knowing her 17 years and reading those little bits that we did back in the day on the blogs, I had no idea what it was really like. So I've been waiting 17 years myself for this book. I'm sure there's people who have been waiting longer than that. And she finally published it. Well, I have nothing but good things to say about it. It is amazing. Even if I didn't know the author, I would recommend this book. It is so thrilling that I didn't want to put it down. I wanted to keep reading and seeing what happened. And I cannot believe everything that one person goes through in life. Everybody has a story, but some of us have a lot more to tell and a lot sadder story than others. So it was an amazing read. I definitely recommend it. The only complaint I have is that it's a series. So where I know some of the things that happen past the point of the end of the book, when I got to the end of the book, I wanted more. So that's my only complaint, is that I am frustrated that I read it so fast, and I didn't even need to because it's only the first one in a series. So I also am going to try and get Diana on my live and interview her and ask her, questions about the book and everything. So that book just jumped ahead in my, in front of all the other books that I've been reading, and it was well worth jumping ahead. And yeah, so that is one thing I did this week, is besides trying to keep plants alive, I lied in the garden on these hot days and read. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I need to shut off my Wi-Fi so it doesn't glitch. Hang on a second. Let's not fall off of the... It's going to be funny if I flip off. Give me a second. I shut off my Wi-Fi and then it was having trouble connecting, so I'm going to try and shutting off my Wi-Fi again and seeing if the 4G works. Otherwise, I might have to try and do this on the Wi-Fi. Okay, there. That should be 4G, so I hope it's good now. I hope everybody's back and that it's working. Unless you're watching this at a later time where you don't have all the interruptions of this. So, yes, I hope that somebody will be passing by soon so I can give them this book, because I really don't want to get it wet. And I keep splashing, and if I fall in, I took my watch off, so that is good. It's water resistant or whatever, waterproof to a certain point, but I don't want to test it. So I don't know where everybody is. Oh, my mom and sisters are camping right now. That's right, they left on Thursday, so they won't be watching this live, or if they are, it'd be kind of weird because they should be enjoying their camping. So it's my whole family camping together. I know they miss me and wish I was there, and just like my dad who passed away, we wish he was there as well, and that we were all together. We were there in 2019 together, and they've sent me some pictures of them already camping, and that was great. But my cute husband is going out right now. He's over by the car. Lemon balm, buddleia, and hot lips salvia. I'll text you in a bit. Okay, love you. Have a good night. You're welcome. Bye. Again, that's just Steve leaving. I'm sorry if there's interruptions in this live with the Wi-Fi or the 4G or whatever. So tell me what you've been doing if you're watching this at a later time. Obviously you can't tell me I won't read it right now, but I always think it's weird how many people watch my lives after the fact or listen to them and they never comment. I'd like for you to comment so I know that you've been there. Floating away again. Ah! So yeah, I hate that it's getting dark, but it's still nice in the pool because it is hot out. But it is weird just talking to myself, just half floating on a thing and talking to myself. I don't know if this will work better the other way, like it's taller in the back so it has this headspace, but I'm not even sure how I'm supposed to float. Ooh, sunset has... I'm getting really annoyed at the internet, so I've put the Wi-Fi back on and we'll see if this works better than the 4G, but I'm getting frustrated because I never have problems with the 4G. Anyways, I guess we had the internet guy come out this week, and supposedly we already have the pole on our street already has... Okay, so here is not like Canada because lots of things are old here. It takes them a while to put the new stuff in. So they didn't have like high speed, well no, they have high speed, what's it called? Like fiber optic, like cable, you know, it still comes through on a phone line here, our internet. So it's not easy for them to bring in all the whatever. So anyways, when we called, I hope I didn't just mess up all I only put on mascara, but my eyes itchy. So we called them to fix our internet because it's always acting up, as you guys know. And when he came out, he tested it all and kind of fixed what he could, but he didn't want to replace everything because he said the post on our street, the telephone line or whatever, has the high-speed fiber optic, whatever it's called now. So if we just, Steve has to call and order it, and then they'll come and rip all our old wires out and put new wires in. So we should have even better internet in a week or two. So that'll be great. I wish there was people who weren't on holiday who were tuning in right now, because as much as I can ramble, it's kind of boring when I'm rambling only to myself. So the kids are... Thomas is having a bath to cool off, and Erica is in the living room with her boyfriend, and Aurora is out with her friends in town, and Allison, I think, is up in her room. Owen came over for a visit today, so that was nice. Yep. Bye. Just kidding. Using my feet to guide myself. I'm glad that I got Steve to put the book further away over by the door so that, well, if I do fall off my chair or splash, I won't wreck my book. So coming up this week, it's still going to be hot for a few days, so I'm going to try and enjoy time in the garden. As soon as it's cool enough to be in the house, I'll paint the ceiling in the bathroom, and we got to get going on that again too. What else needs to be done this week? Mostly, like I said, it's already August 14th, so we need to really enjoy the summer because it is almost over. And even though we have a longer growing season here, we don't necessarily get the summer weather. I mean, this has been a great year for summer weather. Unfortunately, it's a drought because we've had the least amount of rainfall in the spring and summer, and we're probably going to have a hose ban soon enough, which is one of the reasons that even though I had less water in the pool earlier, I have more water in the pool now because I was trying to let the rain fill the pool up and just keep it clean with the filters. But this is my backup for the garden. If we get a hose pipe ban, then I will have to use this water, leave it untreated, and then use it for my plants because there's a lot in here. I don't want to use the hose if there's a hose pipe ban because that's not fair, and there's a reason that they put the ban in place. But I also don't want lots of my stuff to die that I worked so hard to keep alive. I know in the scheme of things, garden plants aren't the priority, you know, over humans and animals and stuff like that. But saying that, I have a haven for wildlife, so there's a lot of things in my garden that rely on the environment that I make for them. So I don't want them to, you know, lose out either. So this is my backup water that I can use if we have a hose pipe ban and I need water to water plants and stuff. So yeah, so I could do some more baking, but that's not really baking time when it's this hot. So like today I just barbecued hamburgers and hot dogs for supper and made chips in the air fryer. French fried chips, depending what continent you're from. I'm falling again. Even if I sit on this normally, the water gets on the bum cheeks, which is fine. I don't mind. I am wearing my bathing suit under the shirt, but I was trying to match my Bitmoji. This is nice for me, but again, rambling to myself is what I do with my life every day anyways in my head. So, oh, I'm making waves. That's fun. I don't want to waste water. Like, I don't want the water to go out of the pool. But, well, me and Steve watched a movie last night called The Shallows. It's from 2016, but it's got Blake Lively in it. And it's about a shark attack. And even though it's a cast of, like, a few people, it was better than I thought it would be. I'm not really that in, you know, there you go. And no one's watching right now. Okay, so I'm not that interested in like sharks like that way. I'm interested in all wildlife, but not in like shark movies necessarily. But sharks and then surfing. I used to think when I was younger that I would want to surf, but it's first of all like not just dangerous, but I mean I don't have coordination to do things on land, let alone doing something that takes extreme balance and everything else. So I don't think that surfing would be a sport for me, even if I was young and near somewhere that people surf. But so I didn't think I'd be interested in the movie, but actually it's better than I thought it would be. And very interesting what you would do in a situation where you are in danger like that. I don't want to give too much away because in case somebody goes and watches it. But even if you're not into surfing and sharks, it is, like I said, it is better than I thought it would be. So I'll do this, like this, and then smile at camera. And then I'll put like a poster here for the Shallows, so it shows that I'm talking about it. And then I'll use it as a thing on my Instagram, because I like to do a few of those like hints of what we talked about in the episode. Yeah. What else do you guys want to talk about? So I've fallen off the seat once. We'll see if it happens again. Ooh. So I bought one of these chair things that I'm sitting on. I had bought one. It was green. You could choose between blue or green. And I bought the green one and I blew it up to do a live like this. And one of the sides, I didn't even get to use it, and one of the sides was losing air. So I apologize again about the noisy crows. Yeah, so I was really frustrated about that. And then when I was bringing it back, I didn't know if I would just return it or if I'd get another one. But because they still had them in stock, because it's one of those stores that has all these like promotional things in the middle aisles, and once they're gone, they're gone. You can still return them if something happens with them, but they might not get them in stock again, ever. So, because they still had them in stock, I just replaced it with this one, and I blew this one up today, and it's working very nicely. But like I said, I guess I would need some kind of stool. Right now I have my legs on the edge of the pool, which works for keeping me in place for this, but I don't know, I like having my feet up, so that would be my only complaint with it, I guess. It's actually not meant for water. It says right on the box that it's a beach chair. Inflatable beach chair, and not to use near water, and that it's not a life-saving device. So I think when they say not to use it near water, I think that's just their like liability. Hey, you guys, keep it down. Their liabilities in case anything happens, because somebody might think that this could save their life, you know, because it's a floaty, but it's not for that. But I have it on the water. That's my own risk. And yeah, so far on water I like it, but I guess that's part of the thing, is like where you have to put your feet is maybe because it's not meant for going on water. It's meant for going on the beach and sitting on it on the beach, right? Instead of sitting on the ground. What were we talking about before? Oh, that I got. So anyways, when I replaced it, again, I was like torn between the blue and green, but I thought I would go with the blue because it matches the pool. And I think I made the right choice. As much as the lime green was really bright and happy and I liked it, and I did take a picture because I took a picture of the fact that it was like one side was deflated, but I think this looks better with the pool. As you can tell, it's getting darker and darker, but I can always come closer to the light as it gets darker. I don't know, I mean, I can ramble for an hour, but if nobody's gonna... My goodness, there's a lot of those crows today. If only I knew what they were saying, we could have a conversation back and forth, but that's what I was going to say. If there's nobody on to interact back and forth, then I might as well, you know, not necessarily ramble for an hour. But, oh, I also, pretty sure I sold my property in Canada. I'm taking a loss from what I paid for it, but I'm still making more than I thought I would necessarily in the last few years. So I didn't want to sell it if it wasn't worth the amount, like close to the amount that I paid for it. But everybody says, you know, invest in property, you know, you'll make money, blah blah blah. I heard this thing, there's this guy, the money saving expert, Martin, my brain's just shut off. Everybody here in the UK will know Martin, the money saving expert, but if you know it, you can write it in the comments, otherwise I'll link it later. Anyways, he was on a podcast I was listening to called Parenting Hell with Josh Whitcomb and, oh my god, Rob Beckett and Josh Whitcomb, and what is his name? Money saving expert. Anyways, he was saying, I think it was on that one. Let me think about this for a second. Oh yeah, it was him, and he said about making a bad decision. Okay, a bad decision or a bad outcome. So if you've evaluated all the things that could go right and things that could go wrong, and then you make an educated decision and do something like buy a house or make a decision based on, you know, an educated decision, and then it doesn't work out, that doesn't mean that you necessarily made a bad decision. It just means that there's a bad outcome. So there's a difference between a bad decision and a good decision with a bad outcome. So it's funny that he said that, because that's how I look at it. Like, it was a good decision to invest in property. Most of the time it works out for people. So I didn't make a bad decision buying property. It's just that it ended up having a negative outcome because I lost money based on what I paid for it originally compared to what I sold it for now. but it is something that I'm looking forward to. If the sale goes through and everything goes well, then it's one less thing I have to connect me to Canada. Not that I don't want to be connected to Canada, it's that I just don't want the headache and hassle of stuff in Canada, having to deal with it. So even the fact that I have to pay someone to mow my lawn on the property, you know, and I'm not making any money on the property, I'm having to pay property taxes, mowing, maintenance, you know what I mean? And there's no benefit to me except the fact that I own property. I kept it for a long time after I moved here, because I was insecure, and which is fair. Again, like, I'm not criticizing myself for that. I was insecure. I didn't know, you know, if the relationship would work, or you never know what's going to happen. So I wanted to hold on to my land, because another thing is, because I said it was something I actually did right in my life, something that they say you're supposed to do is invest in property if you can afford it. And I finally did something the way it was supposed to be done. You know, I've never gone to post-secondary education really, or anything like that. So I was really proud of myself for actually managing to do something correct for a change. And so it was really hard to let that go, because it was something that was mine, that, you know, nobody could take from me necessarily. And that, and then insecure in my relationship. So if anything happened with me and Steve, I knew that I at least owned land back in Canada, somewhere I could go if anything happened. But we've been together long enough now, and I'm secure enough in our relationship. And I also know that no matter what happens, everything will always be okay. So, you know, we'll figure things out. So I'm comfortable enough to let the land go. And so, like I said, the deal is done. So let's hope that it all works out. Yeah, I think I have about a year left on our visas. I have to look exactly when. I could probably watch our lives back, and it'll talk about when our visas expire. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, come October, I still have a year after that. But before you know it, I'll have to be applying for another 2.5 years. Because I think, so when October comes, give me a second, let me do my maths here. We came here in 2014, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, oh yeah, okay, so October will be 8 years since we moved here, and I'm pretty sure that when our visa expires, it'll only be 9 years that we've been here, which would be a year from October. And so then you have to be 10 years here to apply for permanent residency, which means I'm still going to have to apply probably for a 2.5 year visa for me and all 3 girls. So 4 visas for 2.5 years, even though technically we only need 1 year out of it before we can apply for permanent residency. So that's expensive and annoying, but it is what it is. So, yeah, well, I was like pretty much on time today, and I'm already halfway through, but it's not as exciting when there's not interaction. But it seems like there wasn't a huge amount of interaction last week while I was cooking and baking, which is also because I was baking, so I was distracted. But it seems like people enjoyed watching that. So, I mean, watching me float back and forth in a pool is not the same as watching me cook something, even if I mess up or fall off of this, right? But let me know what you like. Like, I like to do these ones from the garden and everything, so this is just another part of the garden. And on a hot day like this, like it was in the 30s, so this is the place to be. Yeah, let me know what your favorite, like, lives are, if there's something you want me to do, if you guys like it when I have guests, because there is people that I want as my guests, whether live here or... Oh, yeah, another thing I did this week is Samantha came over, because Erica went for a sleepover at Samantha's, so when Samantha was bringing Erica back the next day... Because again, for those who don't know, Samantha's my best friend here, and our daughters, Erica and Tyla, are best friends. So, when Samantha brought Erica back to, give me 1 second, I just need to answer a child, and I can do it on my phone, on my watch. When Samantha brought Erica back the next day, she had time to stay and visit. And luckily it was Friday, so Steve he leaves the office early on Fridays. And he was able to come home, and we got to visit with not just Samantha, but Danielle, the 4-year-old, and baby Spencer as well. So that was a highlight of my week. Sorry, I just opened my podcast because that's a habit. So let me just respond, send. Okay, so again, I hope everybody's well. There's part of me that just wants to lie like right in the water, but you guys, this looks better at least, even though no one's watching live right now necessarily, or even if you are, you're not interacting. But yeah, and it's weird because I have my legs up on the edge of the pool, so besides the water that's leaking onto my back and bum, I am really not in the water at all. It is weird too when you have the heat, like people who live in really hot places, like in the south in North America, like in the southern states, or in Central America, South America and stuff, like where, or even in Spain or places like where it gets really, really hot. In Africa, there's certain places that like really hot. They'll know. I mean, I guess the desert might be like this too, but actually it gets cold in the desert at night, right? But what I'm saying is, like, even when I was lying outside in the back garden on a lawn chair, it was like one of those gravity chairs that I was lying on reading my book. And when I say reading my book, I actually took pictures of every page of the book so that I don't wreck the book, and I was reading it on my phone, so it didn't matter that it got dark outside because I could still read on my phone with the backlight. But it got dark, even a bat was flying over me, so that was cool. But I thought, oh, it's a bit chilly lying here just reading my book. And yet when I went into the house and went upstairs, Steve hadn't walked Lena yet, and he said it was still 20 something degrees. And I was like, oh, that's weird, because when I was in the back garden, I felt like it felt a bit chilly. So what I'm saying is that the fact that it's like 33 in the afternoon, and then it goes down to 21, 21 is still warm, but because it's dropped like 12 degrees, that's a huge difference to your body, right? So it feels cooler. So yeah, I think that's weird that like it feels a bit cooler now, also because I'm wet. But it's still, if I looked at, well, I could look at my watch and see what the actual, it says what the temperature is right now. Do I have my watch upside down? Yeah. I'm glad that also with these heat waves that we've had, we have not that you can't buy bags of ice, but I like that we have a fridge that continually makes ice. And it knows how much we scoop out, so whatever we take out for ice, it replaces. So that's really cool. So, weather. It says, yeah, it says it's 27 out right now. I don't know if I take my watch off if it'll show, but 27. I got a cramp. Got a cramp right here from trying to stretch backwards. So it says it's still 27 out. And there's barely a wind. So, Charlie horse. They don't use the term Charlie horse here really, but that's what it is. So, I didn't do that thing yet. Oh, did I tell you that our printer's working? So there's no reason that I can't print those things off. But remember I said that I was going to do a bunch of topics or subjects and then print them off and then cut them up and then put them in like a bowl or a hat or something. That way when I'm doing my lives and I can't think of something to talk about, I can just reach in and grab one of the topics and then it'll make me think of something to talk about. But I didn't do that yet. But our printer is working, so there's no reason I can't do that if I remember. So, yeah. What else? I'm just trying to think, like, the things that I need to take care of are, I have some bills to pay in Canada, but I'm hoping that the deposit for the, like I said, like selling my land, when the deposit goes in, I can pay things off there instead of having to transfer money from here to Canada. So I bought some Tupperware from Auntie. That's one thing I need to pay. I bought the book from Diana, and I haven't sent money over to Canada yet, and I don't have money in my Canadian account right now. So I got Tina, my sister Tina, to pay Diana, because I felt bad. The book came like so quickly. It came on Tuesday, and I wanted to read it, but I hadn't paid her for it yet, so I felt bad that I don't have money in my Canadian account yet. So I got my sister Tina to just transfer the money to Diana so I could read the book guilt-free, and then I will send money to Tina as soon as either, like I said, as soon as the deal is done for the land, or I'll have to transfer some money over across. Either way, it's not that I don't have the money, it's just that it's not as easy to get money from here to Canada, especially because my bank account there isn't actually a bank, it's credit union, so that's annoying. But yeah, that's all I'm thinking about. I'm trying to think of what I have to do this week. I have, like I said, bills to pay. I was thinking of going to school for horticulture, going to college. Little did I think that like the courses that I wanted to take might actually be fully booked up, and maybe I should have looked into them sooner. So there was one spot left on something, but I'm wondering if I should wait till next year, or I don't know. So Samantha was trying to help me. Samantha and Steve, when we were visiting, we were doing the stuff for that, and I am gonna call them and see what spots they have available and what my options are as a mature student. So I have to be honest, even if I do go, there is a part of me that's a bit afraid. I haven't gone to school for so many years, and it's not like I won't do my homework, or even if I do take the course that I want to take, it's only one day a week, but there's still this fear. Like, I don't know about you, but sometimes I have, like, let's call them nightmares about high school, like where you're back in high school and might be doing good or not good in school, but it's like, it's just an anxiety filled thing to think about going back to school. I won't let it stop me, but it's, yeah, just thinking about going back to school is a bit scary, but you know, so I'll keep you guys updated on that if I'm gonna go this year or next year, or what courses I'm gonna take. Yeah, so as you can see, my light is working better now because it's getting darker outside. After I'm done this, well, I can't really do much in the garden after I'm done this, but I might swim a little bit in the pool, because it doesn't matter if it's dark for me to go in the pool. And then I might just go in the house and maybe catch up on my Gardener's World on the TV while Steve's out. And then, I don't know, tomorrow's Monday, so it's the start of the week again. Kids are still on school holidays, so it's mostly just about getting Steve and Tom to work. And Allison, if she's not going to university in September, which it doesn't look like she is, she needs to look for a job as well. So good news I got this week as well. I went for a swab for cervical cancer, so it's important for us women to, and actually, so they were explaining to me that they test for HPV, which is the human papilloma virus, and they said that men can get it too. Obviously, I was like, well, how can men get cervical cancer if they don't have a cervix? But I guess they can get throat or penis cancer, because if a woman has HPV and a man gives the woman, or even a woman gives a woman oral sex down there, they can get throat cancer from the HPV, or a man can get penile cancer from it. So it's important to check that stuff out. So yeah, so I did that, and I'm pretty upset to realize that the last time I did it was 2016. I can't even blame COVID or anything. It felt like it wasn't that long ago that I went, but I guess it wasn't. So I got that done this week. So check on that. So make sure you're taking care of your health as well. What else? It's just I don't mind the hot weather, but the problem is that with no rain and it being so hot, I can't keep up with the garden. And then if I can't keep up with the plants in the garden, then I can't keep up with, I'm fighting with the plants the whole time to try and keep everything alive. And then things in the house need to be done. And, family needs to be taken care of and everything else. And it's just, so the hot weather is coming to a close in a few days, like the super hot weather, like the heat wave. That's good, because I just can't keep up with it. It's supposed to rain, so let's hope that it rains here. And I feel bad for places that have had drought and no rain for years, because it really does there is plants that will grow in a drought environment, but it's sad to think of all the if you're naturally in an area like that, that's fine, and if it happens over like a period, like slowly, that's fine. But to go from living somewhere like England where there's lots of rain all year round to having drought, it's bizarre, because one of the reasons that it looks so lush in like Scotland and Ireland and even here, and their gardens are so great, is because they get so much rain. So not having rain totally changes things. So again, I don't mind the hot weather, but in Canada, when we have hot summers, we get thunderstorms, and then so lots of times it'll rain at night, and then the days will be hot and sunny, so it's much enjoyable. But here we've been having this hot weather with no rain, and it just doesn't work as well. Especially if, like I said, if we have a hose pipe ban, I'm gonna stick to it, because I am a responsible person who follows the rules like that, because I know that it's being put in place for a reason, and I'm not too selfish or arrogant to think that I'm above the rules. So if there's a hose pipe ban in place, I'm going to follow it, and then I'll have to use what little rain I have in rain barrels, and then this water here, and make do. So if I lose plants because of it, then that's just what's going to happen. It is a loss of plant life, but it's also a loss of money. But, you know, like I said, as long as the animals and the humans are okay, I'm going to try and keep my ponds topped up so that the wildlife that relies on my garden is all right. You know, my bird baths and stuff, I'll try and keep them clean and topped up, even if it's the water from here in the pool. But we'll see what happens in the next few weeks. Let's hope it rains like it says it's supposed to. It is 8:46, so I'm doing quite well for the rambling, even though I'm by myself. And my neighbors probably think I'm crazy, but I'm friends with a few of them on Facebook. So a couple on the street that I am friends with, if they realize that I do these rambling hour lives every Sunday, then they'll know why I'm sitting in the garden talking to myself. And if they don't know, then perhaps they've told the other neighbors, I don't know. And if they don't know and they think I'm crazy, that doesn't bother me either, because I don't really care what people think of me. So, woo-wee, floating away. So, yeah. I do like when the lives are interactive, when there's, you know, even one or two people to chat back and forth. And I love when friends and families just pop in even and say hi, even if they only stick around for a minute or two. It's like, it makes me happy to know that they're just there to say hi. And that's one of my posts that I made today. My daily affirmation is that putting myself out there for my family and friends is me doing my part to nurture our relationships. So same time, same place, every week, I'm here for our coffee dates. If you're not, then that's on you, not on me, because I'm making an effort. So, you know, what can you do? Falling. I mean, not falling. Floating away. So, yeah. I'd like to line up some guests for my lives and do some other things. And now that the kitchen is pretty much done, we can do more stuff from the kitchen. Give me ideas for recipes that you want to see me make or mess up. Or anything else that you want to see. As the weeks go by, obviously doing the lives from the garden, it's going to get darker earlier and earlier. So there's only so many weeks I can do the lives from the garden, unless you want me to do them from the night garden when it's dark. I actually could do that in the wintertime or something, even in the autumn. I don't know. I'm relaxed. I'm talking to myself, and I don't feel too hot right now. I don't feel too cold. I just feel good. And what was that? Oh yeah, it was like a couple weeks ago when, you know, the one that I had Aurora on, and she sang a song, and I was sitting in the how do you say it? Adirondack chairs? Adirondack, you know, those chairs. those big wooden chairs by the pond, and I could smell the smoke from a fire, and it was just perfect. It was just so nice, and that's how I feel right now too. There's a little bit of a breeze right now, but again, I'm not too cold, I'm not too hot, and I love swimming, so I look forward to dipping into the pool in a few minutes when I'm done this. But yeah, lucky. We have to look at the little things in life that we have. Like I said, you don't need a lot of water to keep yourself cool on a hot day. Anything to dip your feet in and just cool yourself off. And even just sitting in a chair, like relaxing, leaning back, and having your feet just in a little, bucket of water is enough to just relax and enjoy the weather and enjoy life. So lots of us go through lots of different things, and I'm not going to complain because I've always had a pretty good life. Even through challenges, I've had a good life, especially if I compare it to a lot of people who have had to go through some horrendous things. But whether you're going through horrendous things, or you have an average life, or you have a really good life, it's still important to appreciate everything we do have and not take things for granted, because things can change in an instant for the better or for the worse. So you never know when what you have isn't there anymore. Okay, I only felt that's a bit chill, not chilly on the back, but just wet and unexpected. So I only fell off my chair once in this rambling hour, so that's pretty good. And I'm like right against the front of, like, I have my legs over the side of the pool, so the side of the pool is like right underneath my knees, so I don't think that I would tip off this way, but you never know. So yes, to my family who's camping, I will float here on the top of the water and pretend I'm out at the lake with you guys. I'm there in spirit. I miss my family and my friends, and I love seeing everybody's photos of camping and being at the lakes and swimming and going behind speedboats and doing all those things. But I would be lying if I didn't say I wasn't jealous of the lakes. I miss Canada, I miss lakes, and I've never had a speedboat myself, so I can't be like, oh yeah, I miss my boat and I miss, tubing and kneeboarding and stuff behind a boat. But I have done those things in my life, and it's something that I would have liked to have if I lived in Canada. So there is some lakes here, but it's not the same as Canada. So I can hear the dog barking. I'm not sure what she's barking at. It's interesting because I'm in the pool right now, and behind the camera and behind the light is the whole big fat house. And it's just another one of those things, looking at the house and, not taking for granted what you have. Our house isn't on a street. Oh, I mean, there's a street over there, but it's like you come into our property and then like the house is around the corner, so it's hidden. So to look straight on at my house, I stand in our garden to look at it. If I stand on the street, I can't see it. But it's still nice to see it from this angle, front on, and say, that is our house. That is where all the love and happiness happens with our family, and it only gets better inside and out. And I love our family, and I love my husband, and I try not to take things for granted. So that is your thing for the week. Just pay attention to the things around you, especially the small things, and don't take them for granted. I am loving that I'm outside in the evening, even though it's getting dark now. Like, it really does make me think of camping, because anytime here, if it gets dark, I don't really stay outside necessarily because it's dark and there's not a lot to do, and I don't have lights in my greenhouse yet or anything, which is a good thing. Otherwise I would be out there all night long. But the fact that I'm floating on the water and it's getting dark is kind of nice, and I do think that I'll be out here for a bit just chilling and relaxing. Whereas like at camping, even if it's dark, it doesn't mean you go indoors right away. You would sit around the fire and visit and everything else. So it's a nice feeling right now with the evening breeze and the dusky light and everything. Hi, Auntie Diane. You tuned in when I'm almost done. I've rambled the whole time, but there hasn't been a lot of interaction, so it's been just me trying to think of things to ramble about. I still have time left to ramble. What is new with you? Auntie Dan says, Jade and Jasmine are watching. Hi, ladies. How are you guys? How are your hedgehogs doing? That is my Auntie Diane's grandkids. Well, a few of the grandkids. They have more than that, but these are my cousin Nicole's 2 daughters. I hope you girls are good. I hope the hedgehogs are good. It's getting dusky out here, so it's getting dark, so the hedgehogs will be coming into our garden to have a drink at the pool, at the pond. Auntie Dan says they're all good. That's good to hear. Are they up in Grand Prairie, or are you guys down in Calgary? Almost time for me to call it an evening. 9 at night for me. That's why it's getting dark here, ladies. So that means if it's 9 here, it's only almost 2 in the afternoon for you guys. So it's probably hot and sunny. I hope you guys are enjoying your summer. I think I saw some photos with you guys and your family not too long ago doing some fun stuff. I actually think maybe even yesterday. And I think it was your dad's birthday. Was it your dad's birthday, girls? I hope you guys had fun for that, if I'm not mistaken. It is weird that I'm outside in the dark. But maybe I should wrap this up for... Yes, it was... Okay, so my cousin Nicole, it was her husband Sam's 40th birthday. So they went out for that and enjoyed themselves. So happy birthday to Sam. Wait. Yeah, wait, my brain just farted. Is his name Sam? I just realized now, after all these years, that if Nicole's husband's name is Sam, but Nicole's brother, my cousin, is named Sam as well. But now, how did I not know that sooner? I'm obviously not that smart. And then my cousin, same family, my cousin Daniel, he married a Lisa, and she became Lisa McDermott. So, all those different names, the same names in the family. Oh yeah, so Auntie Dan said, yes, we call him Big Sam. So the girl's dad is Big Sam, and he turned 40, and my cousin Sam is younger, and so he's like about, how old is little Sam, like 26, about? Yeah, or 20, 30. Oh no, is he almost 30 now? No, I think he's younger than that. I think maybe about 26. You can tell me, Auntie Diane. Yes, so what I was going to say is I think it is time to wrap this up, because I've been rambling for pretty much an hour, and I don't know that it's been that interesting, but it has been me and rambling and what I do. And like I said, I'm in the same place the same time each week, here to visit and have coffee with my friends and family. And so if you're not here, that's on you, not on me. I'm doing my part. So join me next week, same time on Facebook, but I don't know where I'll be, in the garden or in the house. Let me know if you want me to cook something or bake something. I don't know what the temperature's supposed to be like next weekend. So if today's the 14th, then it's the 21st next weekend. I can't believe it's going by so quickly. My Auntie Diane says that my cousin Sam is 27, so that is not bad guess when I said 26. I love you guys. I'm going to have to put my legs back into the pool to shut off the thing, so this is where I might fall off of the chair again. Ah! Nope, I didn't fall off, but... Okay, so if you guys are just tuning in now, there is me talking about a book that I read this week at the beginning of this live, and also there is a part in the middle somewhere where I do fall off my chair into the water. So enjoy that, and other than that, I will see you guys next week. I love you guys. Oopsie, what did I do? Bye!